connection, and that means both human to human and human to machine. And so if we move to the next slide, so we wanted to walk through kind of our vision of how collaboration technology will play a role. So first, no matter the artificial intelligence, no matter the IoT integrations or the business processes that you have powering to turn underneath, we believe every single crew member will be connected via one unified collaboration platform. As tech-savvy millennials comprise an increasing number of aviation jobs, each member of the term will come to expect real-time information flow and the ability to connect digitally with their colleagues, both on their mobile devices and on the wearables. We believe this will be especially true as we emerge from this, the world of COVID-19 lockdown, in which Zoom, which we're all in today, and other technologies have really simplified the ability for all of us to connect anytime and from anywhere. So the next bullet. So on a common platform, as Massimo shared, information flow is critical. So if everyone is on a common platform, information will flow to the right person at the right time and through the right medium, which could be text, voice, or even video. The next bullet, if we go through. With that collaboration platform also doubling as a workflow allocator, and with the crew members interacting with it throughout the day, it will be in a position to collect the highest quality and the largest quantity of data to push down the stack to the AI and business intelligence layer that will support machine learning and feature optimization. Cool, so we can move to the next slide. Massimo already hit on a lot of this, but we just wanted to share some stats from the US where we're based. Of course, you may be wondering why this is such an important issue. Well, as Massimo shared, and as you can see here, the costs are significant. Similar to what Massimo shared in the EU, the DOT data shows that in the States, controllable airport operation defects account for roughly 33% of all flight delays. And when you look at that from a comparative standpoint, it stands only behind ATC and system delays. It's actually the #2 reason for delayed flights in the United States. And when you look at the cost of the delay minute, around $75, and you really think about it, it's ineffective collaboration at airports that accounts for this big loss, which to US airlines is over $2 billion a year. And as Massimo shared, and as the industry has really picked up, over the last decade, the costs here, they extend far beyond the financial realm. Improved airport collaboration also reduces aircraft fuel burn, which helps us all chart a better path towards zero carbon aviation. We'll go to the next slide, and it won't be a surprise to many of you that have spent time on the airport ramp, but as to why this is the case. But we wanted to share that even from a simple narrow body operation, you may have a couple dozen people performing different functions. They all need to come together as a single team to complete up to 100 tasks in synchronicity in as little as 40 minutes. To further complicate things here, the team members work for different companies. Given the matrix supply chain that supports airport operation, you could have up to 10 different companies represented in that turn. And again, for those of you that have spent much time out on the ramp, it's not uncommon to have these 24 people literally appear from nowhere, work together for maybe these 30, 45 minutes, and then just as quickly as they came, they disperse back to their respective tribes. On the next slide, you'll see that, as aviation leaders, we haven't made this any easier. So first, from left to right, despite how the passenger experience has been digitally transformed over the last decade, crew members working on the ramp still largely live in an analog world. Even with ubiquity of smartphones, even with the improved connectivity we've seen at airports worldwide, two-way radios remain the primary plane-side communication tool. And that, of course, is going to limit any type of machine to human interaction. And by definition, it's going to limit our ability to capture good data around what's happening at that turn. Second, this, again, probably not a surprise, but when you think about the turn operation, we need to make sure that we break out of these communication silos. Although you'll have some teams working together, maybe you'll see, obviously the flight attendants and the pilots will work together. Maybe some components of the below-wing crew, those teams will work together. But for the most part, everyone's communicating with their individual group. So we need to make sure that that communication cuts across so that everyone can work together real time. And finally, at the far right, we wanted to convey was, again, this matrix supply chain that you see at the airport. If cross-team communication is an issue, it's not, cross vendor communication and collaboration at the airport is pretty much non-existent. You have all these different companies, right, that come together for that turn, but they just don't talk with each other. So that's a critical issue when you think about efficient turns and collaboration. So in the next slide, we share, okay, so what's the solution? And so here we envision, we're seeing a world where everyone is on the same platform. And this shouldn't come as a surprise for us on this call. It's pretty much standard in any other business. We thought coming into this call how silly it would be if some of us chose to participate on this webinar on Zoom, others on Skype, and others on Slack, right? It just doesn't make sense for us in the business world. So why in the heck would it make sense for the teams out on the ramp? They all need to be on the same platform. And in this vision, the platform cuts across different media. And so here, as you see here, it could be the web, mobile, wearable, IoT, but again, everything integrating up through this common shared interface layer so that the right data flows to the right people at the right time. The next slide, thanks. Just to share too, the collaboration in this space is different. And so again, all of us are accustomed to Zoom, obviously we're on this call. We all work with collaboration tools, but what's different in the space out on the ramp is that it can't be manual. And so we thought through how silly a concept it would be if, as the pilot is taxiing the aircraft to the stand, he has to spin up a Zoom call and invite all of the people on the ramp team, above wing, fueling, catering, to come together to collaborate. That's insanely crazy, right? And so in this world, collaboration is different in that we need to bring people together dynamically. And so there are a lot of challenges when you think about how to do that. But thankfully, if you're able to bring together the communication piece with the workflow allocation piece, you have the right properties to bring this group of people together. You'll know that the user on the platform is a pilot. You'll know that she is working this flight at this airport. You'll also know the fueling vendor that works for that airline at that airport, who the fueler is that's assigned to perform tasks on that flight. And so it's the data model is fairly complicated, but there's a way to seamlessly real time for, could be 45 minutes, an hour, whatever the length of that turn is, to bring everyone together on this platform. And with that, finally, again, through text, voice, and video, again, bringing back the COVID-19 lockdown, we saw things were moving this way, but now it just seems that people will be accustomed that if they want to, they should be able to communicate real time via video, a ramp team member with the pilot or with the flight attendant to communicate, collaborate real time. So what we thought we'd do is to provide a little meat on the bones. We'll close by giving 2 examples of how this collaboration works today with the limited tools provided, and then how things work in the future and the benefits you'll see. So the first one we wanted to share is the gate check bags scenario. And so just to set the stage, this involves a few different groups: the flight attendants, the gate agents, and the ramp agents. And again, you'll see the asterisk. It's fairly likely that team will be outsourced to a vendor. But here the issue is, of course, as the overhead bins become full, personnel need to ensure that that bags are gate checked. And once the gate check bags reach critical mass, as you can see that they are here at the end of the jet bridge, a ramp team member needs to move up, collect those bags, and then board them. And today, the way it works without an effective collaboration strategy, the flight attendants will be the ones responsible for determining when the bins are about full, either via the telephone at the jet bridge or walking all the way up the jet bridge to the gate. They'll tell the gate agent that they need to begin gate checking the bags. The gate agent's then going to need to manually make an announcement on the PA. Meanwhile, you're going to have 2 scenarios, one of 2 scenarios on the ramp. Either you're going to have a ramp agent stationed as a potted plant, literally just waiting at the top of the jet bridge stairs, waiting for that critical mass, just standing there inefficiently, or you're going to have them working out on the ramp, and then flight attendant or gate agent or someone will need to yell out and make sure that they come up and get the bags. So let's think about how this works in the future. Here you've got a video camera, data coming in, like from Messiah, that's going to let us know that we've reached the aircraft, has a certain capacity for overhead bins. We've now reached 75% of that. The camera is going to know based on the bags that if they're accompanying passengers down the jet bridge. Once that's met, a notification will be routed to the gate agent, and they will know to begin gate checking bags. If you have an automated PA, that's going to blast it automatically, and so the gate agent won't need to do anything manually. At the same time, the ramp team member is going to receive that notification that gate checking bags has begun. As passengers continue to go down and bags are left at the end of the jet bridge, the camera will identify the quantity of gate check bags. Once that reaches a sufficient number, say 5, 6, 7, to the point where it makes sense to get that ramp agent, then the wearable on the ramp agent will alert, and they will come up and they'll be able to get the bags. And so with this process, you're going to see a more efficient information flow. You're also going to see productivity gains on the ramp. And most important, you're going to avoid the defects of bad communication leading to ramp agents getting those bags late. Lastly, a second example, and this one is close to home. Those of you that know us know that a lot of us were cabin cleaners back in the day, or oversaw cabin cleaning operations. So this one involves, we have 3 different groups and maybe a fourth of flight attendants, gate agents, cleaners, and corporate health and security. And here the issue you can see in the photo is that during a turn, the cleaners discover that there's a big mess, possibly human fluid on seats. And so in today's world, they're going to be nervous. They're going to want to make sure that all safety and health precautions are met. So what's going to happen is the cleaners will, via radio, connect with their dispatcher. Their dispatcher is going to try to figure out what's up, radio the airline, hey, there could be an issue at the ops center. Through that, there'll be some confusion on the aircraft. They'll try to bring up additional cleaners. But over the next 10 or 15 minutes, everyone is going to swarm on this area trying to figure out what to do. Well, in the new world, simply via the mobile application, the cleaner is able to quickly notify everyone that there's a potential issue, maybe take a photo, maybe identifies that there's a potential human fluid issue. That information is routed immediately to everyone, including the corporate ES&H department, which if they want to, can get on the call and then via video, take a look at what's going on and determine whether this is a hazmat situation or not. And so you could see with all this different communication, collaboration, if you get everyone on that same platform, regardless of what systems live underneath, you can immediately route the information down and up to the right people, bring them together. And lastly here, most importantly, is make sure that everyone communicates and collaborates effectively real time. And of course, getting back to the benefits, reducing the cost of defect that we see manifested in delays, and for all of us to provide for a more carbon neutral world. But I think that's it. I'll kick it